Test, test, test. How are we sounding, y'all? Test, test, test.
Test, test, test.
Sounds like we're sounding pretty damn good. I'm loving streaming from this Pocket 3. Also, Kofi and I are going to figure out if we can combine our lives here. Yeah, we shall see. But yeah, we're going to be packing for a shoot today. It's actually today. Connor and I are using Milanote. I've used it a bunch in the past for commercial shoots, but we're shooting a video for my light that's coming out soon. If you guys watched any NAB content, you would have seen some of that. Yeah. Oh, it looks like Kofi. Let's see. How do we add right? Kofi, you there? We're live.
Yeah, can you? Oh, we're live right now.
Uh-huh.
Like live, like with the comment section, or like you're testing out the live and
Live with the comment section.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I mean that was prep for all of this. Good thing I had nothing incriminating on my screen. Let me just delete all of this pre-release stuff off my screen before you guys,
Wait,
Let me
I don't
just
even see
delete
you though.
all of these NDAs. All of these NDAs are just gonna come off real quick. Let me just. Yeah, there we go.
Wait, I don't see
I'm
you on
totally
screen.
kidding. Literally, I have nothing on my screen except for all of these icons which stress people out, and it's hilarious, so I leave it there on purpose.
Wait, can you guys hear Kofi? Can you guys hear him?
I hope so.
Let me see. This is sick if this is working.
If
Shout
this
out to
works.
Ecamm.
Comments, hello from Brazil. Oh, yeah,
Oh
brothers
yeah,
from Brazil.
dude, you come through clear and everything. This is rad.
Oh, okay. This is gonna be so. This might be the new wave. What does this look like on an actual YouTube window?
Well, you can choose what side, but again, there's no image on yours. Your screen's just black.
Wait, why is it just black?
Is your camera set up? Is it on?
Yeah, camera's up. Camera's up. Camera's on.
Yeah, we're not seeing you.
Hang on 1 second. Let me just go. If I go into, so I guess I gotta go.
Sorry, guys, we're figuring this out on the fly. So that's you as main screen. That's back to me.
Yeah, recorder. It's weird because like it says Blackmagic Ultra Studio Recorder, so it should just be that.
Yeah, if you go to my live, you'll see. Yeah, your audio sounds great, but there's just no video. Your audio sounds really good. Someone in the chat said, "Turn on your camera." Said, "Turn on the camera."
The camera is on. Like you could see me though, right? Like you could see me on the Ecamm interview
No,
part.
it's all. There's nothing there.
Blackmagic Ultra Studio Recorder 3G. So it recognizes.
Let me see.
It can't handle Kofi's aura. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Allow.
Let me see if I could just like unplug this real quick then. Maybe I have it plugged into the wrong thing.
Sorry, guys, bear with us. This wasn't part of my live today, but Kofi said he was going live
This
too.
was
so
not planned whatsoever.
I was like, let's see if we could combine them.
So like, is that just, there's no camera showing up. Hang on, what if I close my Ecamm? Like if I quit Ecamm Live.
That link I sent you, what did it send you?
It brought me to this like interview window.
Huh.
And split screen, hang up. Hang on a second. Yeah, 3G Ultra. Do you have your settings where you can transmit 4K?
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm shooting in 6K.
Everybody in the chat, we're using Ecamm, and I'm streaming through the Pocket 3 and D-Log M with my Roadrunner LUTs on here. It's pretty damn clutch. They're saying they're hearing your echo, so I need to throw in headphones.
Yeah, I'll get headphones in just a sec. Let me just put these on.
All right, guys. So you shouldn't be hearing Kofi's echo anymore. Put headphones in.
How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but still no video. We need Doc. Doc, we
Few
need you in the
seconds. This is
chat.
so weird because yeah, it says it recognizes the black magic. Let me, you know what? Let me exit and come back again.
Okay. All right, guys, we're trying to figure it out. We're doing this on the fly here, and we're figuring this out together. But you guys can still hear me, right? My audio should be coming through. Yep, the Pocket 3 mic. I will say the new DJI Mini Mic 2s, I love them. They're the fact that they're so light, they don't weigh down your shirt as much as the regular ones. I should probably switch this to the mini ones actually. But yeah, while Kofi's figuring that out, ooh, looks like we got something. Boom! We in business. This is dope. Yo, Ecamm. Ecamm is the shit.
You get it?
Yeah. Yep. And now you can see the image quality difference from the Pocket 3 in a better setup.
I'm still trying to find a good auxiliary cable. So if you guys hear echo, I apologize, but I'll try my best to mitigate that.
As long as we have headphones on. I'm going to change my white balance on here and then also an Ecamm so I can better match Kofi here. Let's do the tint. Cool. And then I'm going to lower my exposure. Kofi, you got to try streaming on the Pocket. This is so clutch. I mean, it doesn't look nearly as good as your current setup, but it's really, what's the word? Convenient.
Yeah. And I'm here for it. I have my Pocket too. I'm actually going to do a little video comparing the Pocket and the Osmo Action because my hot take is the Action, I think, personally, is better than the Pocket 3.
Oh. I don't know. They're totally different. That's a tough one.
Well, I feel like
for certain situations, it's definitely better.
Yeah, like I feel like what's it called? If I don't have a camera, the Osmo Pocket makes sense. If I own other cameras, the Action 5 instantly gets used more.
Yeah.
Because like if I'm vlogging, if I'm walking around and vlogging, I just shot a video on the ZF yesterday. I shot the whole thing on the S9 and the kit lens. And I'm like, what would I use the Pocket 3 in the situation for? Because the S9, that package, like a package is so inconspicuous anyways, like who cares? And then I would shoot my Nikon ZF video and whatever the case is. Now, what I use my Action for is I got that like neck strap where I do the PO, like where you do like the photo POV angle, where you could do that on the Pocket, but I find whenever I try to do like POV on the Osmo Pocket because of the gimbal, it looks so like not natural that I don't want to use it. Like I look at it, I'm like, oh, that looks like super smooth. That's cool. But like you would never like your POV would never be a smooth gimbal shot because you're walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The parts where the Pocket 3 comes in for me is how seamless the wireless mic is, which the Action 5 does as well. But then the gimbal tracking or handing it to somebody who doesn't know how to film BTS, both cameras are going to work just fine. But yeah, they're definitely they're an odd blend of like both really great convenient cameras. Sorry, y'all, I'm grabbing my Starbucks. Oh, here's Connor. We're live right now.
You don't choose, you collect.
What was that?
Did you send Connor to go on a coffee run for you?
No. It was DoorDash, and he just got back from walking his dog.
I was gonna say, like, that's diabolical.
I got a cake pop. I got a Starbucks breakfast sandwich. I get no cheese, and I remove the bun, so I can just eat meat and egg.
So you guys don't have, and I realize on the Starbucks menu in America, there's no low-fat turkey bacon sandwich.
Low-fat turkey bacon sandwich. No, that sounds lit.
Yeah,
though.
So it's just an English muffin. It's turkey bacon, and instead of eggs, it's egg white.
I don't know if you guys knew this, but Connor used to work at Starbucks, so I'm sure Connor knows all the hacks and stuff. He's so mean though. I couldn't imagine him being in like anything regarding customer service. You know.
Well, I mean that's why he doesn't work there anymore now, right?
Yeah, he probably said like some crazy stuff about people, and
I feel like he wouldn't because the demographic of people that go to Starbucks aren't there.
Connor, you're welcome to join in on this. Connor's scared to jump in on live sometimes.
Headphones died. One sec. Let me change these out. I thought I had these plugged in all night, but apparently not.
What's up, Preston? While Kofi's doing that, let's go through the chat. Again, this is like a spur of the moment. I only have 48 viewers in here. 8 likes. What's up? Let's run through this. Kofi, we should figure out if we could go live on your channel as well while doing this.
You know what? I feel like we might have to do that in the background off stream. Like I don't want to. Whatever's working right now is working right now, and trouble is sleeping, and it's best not to wake it.
Because that would be pretty sick. Have our own separate chats and everything, so our own audiences are in each, kind of going back and forth.
Let me see if I know how to do that. I think it's as simple as, hang on a second. If I just open up my eCam, can I open up webcams at the same time?
Or you could open up my eCam record.
You could, but I think I also can install now. I don't want to install LoopTech.
The quality won't look as good, but we need to set up a meeting with Doc and see what the possibilities are. I already put in a firmware or update request for eCam to bring us anamorphic support. Because like, for instance, guys, I have this Pocket 3 anamorphic lens. So you can imagine how sick this would be to de-stretch it, because the Pocket 3 doesn't have anamorphic support. I don't think they'll ever put that in there because it's such a niche thing. But
I highly doubt it, man. But like, if they do, that'd be kind of sick. But then again, I think it's because the sensor's so small too. Like it's such a small camera where it would be a super niche thing to even try to do it.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like Brandon, with how much he's been streaming, he's going to kind of put streaming on the map for our community here. What's up, Matt Day? So Matt Day is here. Kofi, I don't know if you know
love Matt Day stuff. I do. Okay, so I'm very familiar with Matt Day. I may not comment on all of his stuff, but I watch a lot of his videos because it just feels really chill. And I like when he kind of just goes through photo books, and it's kind of fun.
He is way too humble. Matt, you're way, way, way too humble. We got Ashley in the chat again. Are we taking questions? Sure. If you got a question for Kofi or I. My old buddy Gabe is in the chat. Gabe, the new light I'm coming out with, I need to get one in your hands, because I think you guys were the original group of peeps that put me on to Zhiyun like years back. We've come full circle now. Someone said, can you see the chat, Kofi?
I can, yeah.
Oh, sick. Can you control it at all or anything like that?
No, I can only see the comments. I think I can even comment. No, I'm pretty sure I can comment. No, I can't comment. I can just see everything. So I try to go on my eCam, and how it works is it does not let me use the camera that I have on right now. So I guess it's just like one camera to one thing. I'm sure there is a way to do it.
That would be kind of sick. We just do 2 camera setups. Our main like anamorphic like Pixis setups are our A cams. And then like maybe the Pocket or like my studio display or MacBook camera can be the second one. That could be interesting.
So Riverside FM, you could do it. Like you could pull that off on Riverside. Riverside, you can call people in whatever aspect ratio you can. And I think it just fits itself to 16:9. So you could like, if you have the mantises, you could de-squeeze it to 1.33, and then you can do a video call that way. And then it'll also save the call for you to post later. Or if you want to pull out, like clips from it using AI, you can do that on Riverside. So I would guess for like calling streams, I might use Riverside, and then for like if it's just me on my channel or just like me on like one-to-one channel, I think eCam makes sense.
Yeah, all I know is this was extremely easy to set up. Literally, I went live and I sent Kofi a link, and he didn't even know. And like,
that could have ended terribly. That could have ended terribly. It can't be like our group phone calls with Terry, where you just call stuff and start saying things on speakerphone, irrespective of whoever else is in the room.
Yeah. So someone said, I wonder who's going to be the first director to film a movie on the Pocket. Could be Kofi. Well, it would be the Action 5 now from
it'd probably be Terry. It probably would be Terry.
Yeah. Terry hates filmmaking, though. Terry just likes lifting weights and motorcycles.
I think Terry is kind of, and I mean, I was talking about this earlier on Threads. Like, I think Terry is sick of the toxicity in the space, not necessarily
Yeah.
the act of filmmaking itself, which I make like, makes sense, right? Like, I think yesterday when I posted that thread, I like thought about it today, and I'm like, honestly, that's it. That's the first step of what we talk about all the time when we talk about people that like get disenchanted with a platform, but then make it everybody else's problem, and then they're constantly just disparaging people out of just not wanting to be on YouTube instead of just not being there. And I like yesterday when I posted that thread about like, you know, being disenchanted with the space, I was like, oh shoot, you're actually becoming the thing that you really didn't want to become.
Yeah.
Pivot and get out of that stuff, because like at the end of the day, when we, you know, you probably get more of it than I do, but there are far more people that actually rock with you and like want to see your stuff and like want to be around than is the opposite, right?
Yeah.
But I can
Well, I
totally
think the
see
hard
Terry just being
part,
like,
yeah, I think if you do any type of filmmaking or video stuff on YouTube, the industry is in a very volatile emotional state right now. So you got a lot of dudes who, whether it's envy or just curiosity or distrust or whatever it is, I feel like the whole overall filmmaking community has always been a bit toxic though, because you got top dogs,
yeah,
or guys who think they're top dogs who may do some work. They're like part of a crew. You know, they're not directing or producing or making millions of dollars, but the fact that they're in the industry and they look at YouTubers in a negative aspect or a negative way, you know, that's always kind of been there. But it's definitely
yeah,
getting worse with work slowing down and more people, even like a year or two ago when I was yelling about AI and people race to the bottom when it comes to rates and work and commercial work. Some of my favorite commercial DPs and directors who I didn't even know knew I existed started to reach out to me, asking me to get on phone calls, asking me how I'm doing this YouTube stuff. Is it worth it? And some of them were like cursing at the industry, like just having, you know, almost like mental breakdowns almost. So like crying and shit, like wild stuff. So, you know, the industry's been the writing's been on the wall for the past few years now.
yeah. It
And
was funny
so
because I feel
it
like
is
this is a.
toxic on here.
It's funny because I feel like we had this conversation 2 years ago, and we're like, "Hey, this sounds like where things are going. We should probably invest into this YouTube thing for better or for worse." And then it happens. And I mean, like, here's the thing: the door is still open for everybody. Like Ryan Coogler doing the aspect ratio breakdown from Sinners is a perfect example of what I would love to like content I would like to see, right? And
Yep.
then and I don't even think it would push out guys like me and you that maybe aren't working on Sinners with Michael B. Jordan. I think what'll end up happening is that, and this happened at NAB. I wish you were at the Conrad Blue Party because it was a really cool conversation where there was also people from production companies that were there, and they're like, "No, we actually don't see YouTube as a bad thing. We're trying to figure out how to combine the two together because that's how we survive this thing." Where you
Yeah.
have a like, so for example, like Film Lab is a perfect example because they do have a bit of social, like they have a social presence, but they also do it's like I guess what you call like real filmmaking or whatever you want to call it. But what they're trying to do is merge the two worlds together, because if you start working as a production company but the content or whatever it is gets shared on YouTube, you're just tracking what the audience is doing and playing towards that. That's how you survive this thing, not trying to think you're bigger than the platform. So every time someone's like, I'm gonna poo-poo on YouTubers while being on YouTube at the same time, like they'll see, like that's not, it's never going to work. That's never a sustainable solution.
Yeah. I mean, the same way streaming, like Netflix and stuff, started to kill the theaters and everybody was against it, and everybody's starting to fall in the line of being like, well, this is what it is. This is what the audience was. So we're going to start, you know, playing with streaming services. Same thing's going to be fucking happening with YouTube, obviously on a whole different spectrum.
Yeah,
But I feel that's just where this is going to head. You know, even the movie The Creator, why I was so excited about that is, I forgot the director's name, but he basically was like, fuck the whole system. I'm going to go back to making movies how I used to. We're still going to get a decent budget, but, you know, we're going to be nitty gritty about it, do some guerrilla filmmaking. And I was hoping that it was going to like crush the box office, but it was a great film. And, you know, I could see more of that coming to YouTube. People just saying, hey, there's this program, you know, we can still make our money back, but let's just produce it and put it out there for people to watch. So
yep.
I see in the long run it turning to that when the studios, because I think the studios are going to streamline their services and their content, and they're going to they're going to try to make the Marvel universe, but of streaming services. So Netflix is going to have their whole, set out over there. HBO is going to have their whole set out. So I don't know. I just see YouTube being a way more valuable resource 5 years down the road from now than people realize. So, and the
Yeah.
directors who see that, they're getting on the game. They're going to be ahead of it. So, yeah, I don't know.
Even you know what it is too, like even the way that viewers watch stuff is far different now, where I think that's where a lot of people in the space are doing really well, because we're talking about this filmmaking stuff at the highest level. Some people don't even like film at the highest level. They want to just watch somebody that they can connect with, that's entertaining or teaches them something, and that's taken the place of like going to a movie, because there's so many bad movies out, right? Like I would rather watch a review on the GFX 102 than watch Captain America: Brave New World. You would never be able to say that 5-6 years ago. But
Yeah.
because of where people are right now, they're like, yeah, cool. You've seen so much of Hollywood movies that you're almost like, I don't. Also, it costs $60 to go to a movie theater. So it's like, well, what would I rather do? Like, would I rather just watch something that I always know is going to be entertaining, that doesn't necessarily need to have a crew or this super in-depth story, but I'm still satisfying that dopamine hit of watching something? And if I do that on a platform that's free, that's very low lift and the content's not super high budget, I might not even watch streaming movies anymore. And
Yeah.
I think we have to understand that the audience is also changing, not just the media and the medium. Everyone's vertical content being a thing. That was 10 years ago. If you said, hey, everyone's just going to watch 1-minute videos vertically in mass, and right after Vine stopped existing, you'd be like, no, you're stupid. That's
Yeah.
not going to happen. Most people are scrolling on TikTok, right? So I think it's not only just directors kind of moving things down and putting it on free platforms, but you're also just seeing the audience of how people consume media drastically changing. Podcasts are doing amazing, for better, for worse, right?
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of different new media is new media, and
I gauge all of this off my family. When I go over to
Yeah.
their house and I see them like really watching a dog shit film on Netflix, and they're fully into it, but also watching TikTok at the damn same time. That's where I'm like, oh, people are watching these horrible films. They're actually watching them because it's something to do, while again still being all over the phone. And then I started to see them watch more YouTubers and talk about YouTubers they're subscribing to. I'm like, what the heck? Like my mom's 50 and she's subscribing to YouTubers. Like what's happening? So I've always literally gauged things off what my mom's
Yep.
consuming for content. So it's truly wild. And now you hear grandparents watching YouTube and stuff now. Like it's here, it's happening. So 1 second, huge shout out to Matt Day, gave us a super chat for $10.
Hey,
Appreciate you both with a heart
respects.
emoji. Hope to meet both of you in person. Yeah, bro, we got to run something. We
Yep.
definitely got to. We're all in different
I
corners
wanna
of the world.
I want to learn photography from Matt Day, because I feel like, and I was shooting with the ZF yesterday, and I felt so disconnected with shooting photos outside that I'm like, I need to do this more often. But anyway, like kind of going back to that and talking about like your family members and having that's like a barometer of how media is going. How many people over the age of 40 came up to you at NAB? Because I was shocked how many
Yeah.
people that are like my parents' age that were like, yeah, man, I love your content. And I'm like, you're the same age as my dad. You watch my stuff. How do I relate to you? And then you like sit back and you think about it and like, yo, you really don't know who's watching stuff. And I think in like on our space, we keep thinking it's other artists. It's not. It's really not.
Yeah.
Like some of these guys are 47-year-old dentists that just want to get anamorphic lenses because they look cool, which
Yeah.
is the exact same reason why we do it. And not necessarily because we want to be this big filmmaking, have a bunch of clients or whatever. I said 47, Brandon. Chill out. But anyways, I meant people that are not the age demographic that are myself are into my content. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
but yeah, you have,
I
like,
think
you have these grown people saying like, yeah, I just want to be entertained and have fun with stuff. Like I don't want to come to watch YouTube to think about more work.
Yeah, I mean, circling back to what we were saying with Terry, in the filmmaking space, everybody thinks, oh, if you're going to do video on YouTube, and make it look decent and talk about cinema cameras and stuff. Oh, you must be a filmmaker. This and I work in Hollywood and blah blah blah. It's just the toxicness of it. For instance, though, like we were talking about in our group chat, I sent you that YouTube title idea that you didn't want. So I sent it to who I mentioned, and even he was like, "Hey, I'm not a filmmaker. Like that's a great idea," but I'm like, "What the fuck, bro? You are a filmmaker. Like you inspire so many people to like pick up a camera and to tell stories." So this whole definition of filmmaker, I'm so fucking sick of it because it's like if you like telling stories, if you like fucking capturing beautiful, like moving images, you're a filmmaker. Like everybody get the fuck over it. If you like telling stories and you like capturing things, or even if it's just your dog, where if your dog dies, you're gonna have all that beautiful footage of your dog. If it's your kids, as they grow up, you have all that footage. You're a damn filmmaker. I don't care. So to me, this whole thing on YouTube is like exactly what we were just talking about with we have older audiences even. Everybody just wants to be inspired, whether they have a day job or they're making money off of video, whatever it is. We're all just in the cycle of trying to survive and enjoy life. And we enjoy getting cameras and using them or talking about them. Like who gives a fuck? So I don't know. This is the way I see YouTube going as things die.
I also got an analogy for you.
Kuna Matana.
It's not that one. We'll do that later. The third string quarterback on the last place football team is still a professional athlete.
Yeah. I don't know anything about football,
to be doing these great. Well, what I'm trying to say is that even if you are in the last depth chart position on the worst performing team in a sport, you still have access to that sport. There's no such, like, you could still be a not good filmmaker. You could still be someone who is just starting out. And I would argue people that are just starting out on what's available now is far better than what people were just starting out with in like 2018. So the idea that you could define who gets to call themselves what based on your own personal opinion, as if like you have the authority to do so, has never made sense. And also like 95% of the audience doesn't care.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's the same thing with photography. If you get a camera to just shoot flowers and mackerel bugs and stuff, like I don't give a fuck when anybody says you're a photographer. So I don't know. All of it's going to come down to as work and everything starts dying out, and even more than already is, and Hollywood's tries to refigure all their shit out. I think people are going to turn back to inspiration and hobbies and just enjoying the craft just to enjoy it, and not all this pretentious, oh, if you haven't done this, you're not this. Like, no one wants to talk about the GOAT filmmakers of our time who have passed or are still alive or about to pass, like the legends. The only reason we're not seeing all their shitty stuff is because the internet didn't exist when they were learning how to do filmmaking and photography. So if they were getting around that time, anybody who's against YouTube and YouTubers, I'm like, you gotta be real fucking dumb to think those legends wouldn't have utilized any tool they can get their hands on and any platform to get their work out and to build a team out, to build a community out, and to learn. They would be doing the same thing we're doing. Granted, they would maybe be expediting the process of, making feature films and blah, 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 which I'm sure one day, a good portion of us will do that. I'm taking my time with it personally, but in the meantime, just having fun. I'm learning. I'm trying to push myself and expand my skill set.
What's cool about that is that's actually happened in real life. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Morgan Cooper. He was I can't even call him a YouTube filmmaker. He was very much a DP beforehand. He just shared his stuff on YouTube with like behind the scenes and stuff, very similarly to how we do it now. And like I have my entire career making six-figure years in the fitness industry is completely from just robbing his lighting setups. But he made a short film called You Shoot Videos. That film that he made was about Moji Wilson, who's on YouTube as well. And then Moji started his YouTube channel documenting his journey. He followed it up with a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reboot trailer that Will Smith watched, that now he's the executive producer of, and they're on like their third season. But by posting things on YouTube as a filmmaker, now puts him as an executive producer of a show that has 3 seasons. The fact that pipeline exists, no matter how long it takes you from one to the other, is going to be what's going to happen a lot more. Even like and I mean, I hope you come to mind, but even like the creator films that we were doing is part of that pipeline where as that ecosystem starts to evolve. And what happened at NAB, and I mean, if we're talking about inside information, um, all of the brands aren't looking for one-offs anymore. They're looking for, hey, I want to support the project, because me supporting the project is the most organic, best promotional way of doing things. So when I give you a budget, I want you to use this to actually do work with it, because at the very least, I may license that from you. At the best, that is a promotional thing that's not only going to keep you inspired, but at the same time, it's stuff you want to do. And then if I see Cam using the, like, if you had only done desktop reviews with the Blazar lenses, then I don't think it would have sold. Like, I don't think that people would have associated your name with Anamorphic as much. But the fact that you're doing the work with the thing, brands are not only looking to do that and support those things, but they're looking to do that over a longer period of time. Like, I'm not going to name any brands, and I'll talk about it off stream, but there are brands in terms of whether or not like sponsorships are dying, not at all. They're just changing into something else, and it's very much what we wanted it to be. And the idea that we've been doing this stuff over shooting spec projects or mini documentaries or whatever the case is, only now have a lot of the overseas brands kind of turn the corner and be like, oh, you know what, that does make sense. Yeah, you know what? Okay, we do want to do that. That's actually what we wanted instead. That's what we want. Which is the budding of the idea where you're going to see people practicing your skill set and then get to higher levels than they ever could have on their own. 1 second.
Yeah.
Whatever you're going to say it, because my girlfriend's going to walk in and she needs her hair dryer. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh. You made me lose my I thought you were about to be in trouble.
My bad.
What was I about to say? Oh yeah, I mean, my the way I'm positioning my channel is exactly how you like brought up the like Bronco spec commercial that I did at the Blazars. Like things like that, being able to get the funding and the team and the gear in hand so I can do some of these projects. For instance, the Indigenous mini documentaries that I'm doing. I have a couple in the bag now. I just haven't had time to edit them and put them out yet. But I'm planning to utilize those and positioning them to basically barter with brands like, hey, if you want to be a part of this project, you need to help fund it, and we need to access this, specific gear to do it. So with that, I'm gonna be able to pay my team out. I'll be able to fund the projects. Those projects will then bloom into bigger opportunities, which have already been happening. I've been invited into writing rooms and to DP pretty like decent sized projects. I don't want to DP those, so I turn them all down. But all these little connections are coming just because I now have the ability to produce things that I've always wanted to produce that a commercial client, you know, I could pitch a million ideas, and if it doesn't pertain to exactly what they want, it's not going to happen. So YouTube basically gave me the freedom to be a filmmaker. That's brought on other pressures of like, oh, now I have the ability to do it. Now I need to do it. And, you know, with my own mental struggles with ADHD and stuff, that's a whole different thing, but trying to keep up with everything. And so now I'm learning to the balance to keeping up with YouTube and the demands it is, because it's a 24/7 job. Like, it's not, hey, I'm just going to work on the weekdays and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's nonstop. And it's a battle to keep producing stuff. Like, Kofi, guys, everybody who's watching, Kofi is a rare human being who can just outrun everybody, and mentally and physically on producing content.
No, I can't. Hang on, I'll stop you. I can't physically outrun you. I don't think I can at the weight that I'm at now.
That's why I circle back with content.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You'll be able to, I think you can outrun Connor.
I would be interested in that. I mean, that would be hilarious.
We might have to do that, and you know where.
I would probably pull a muscle before I finish. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Connor might too, though.
Like I've grown too much mass on my legs that every time I try to sprint, I will pull both hamstrings simultaneously. Almost every single time since 2019.
Connor might too.
So
well, where we're staying, where you know when, if there's a gym there, we should try to. Is there? Okay, we should all try to hit it one morning or evening.
Yeah, where we're going, there are so many gyms and fitness places per capita. It's actually insane. Like one of my buddies, works on the media team for like one of the largest supplement companies in the country around.
Are they based there? Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're based there. I don't know if
Yeah.
they'll let us train there. I asked him, and he's like, "Yeah, well, like we're pretty dialed in. Like I don't think we'll be able to like shoot anything there."
Hmm.
But yeah, no, in terms of like the fitness industry and that part of the world,
Yeah.
absolutely, it absolutely can be
Yeah. I
wild.
mean, my favorite
Um,
gym's there. I kind of want to go back, but I don't know if I want to pay that much just to go one day.
yeah, I want to see if I could try to get hooked up with something because I don't know. I'll probably rent a car there for some. There's a
Yes.
lot of comments. I cannot
I
keep up.
know. I'm
Okay,
gonna try to go
so
through
for
some of these right now.
Photo Me Ike and Brandon, I am not disparaging 40-year-olds. I am closer there than you think. Starting on Thursday, um, I was just saying that the demographic of people that watch my YouTube channel, I don't know if you have the same thing, Cam, was incredibly surprising. Like I actually did
Yeah.
not anticipate that age demographic, not only watching, but also like coming up to me and telling me. Usually it's younger kids. I would say like for me personally, it's like mostly it's black people. Just kind of say what it is, which makes sense.
Same.
Representation matters and stuff like that. But that's happened so many, like that was so surprising. Like when it was like people that look like me, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like you kind of look for that when you're on social media or when you're on YouTube. When it was a demographic of people I did not expect to, I was very surprised. I was kind of surprised and also a little bit like, hey, you know what? Like I don't know if you feel this way, you know, after you get sick after NAB, but like there's kind of a weird like, hey, you know what? Like now I'm making videos for people outside of like myself
Hmm.
because you know
Yeah.
who's watching things now, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think the audience would be shocked to hear this. I don't think we would be though. Is how the haters are fanboys. The same people
Oh
who
yeah.
would hate on YouTube are the same people that would beg you to say hi or to talk to them in person. It's pretty sad. But yeah, the audience, as the audience grows, you know, that's to come more and more. But also, you know, as we become, our faces become more familiar on YouTube. Yeah, it's interesting seeing how broad the audience is. But not just that, you never
Yep.
know what film, like, you know, Hollywood filmmakers are watching you secretly. How many people in the industry are watching you secretly? How many people from parts of the industry that you would have zero clue are on YouTube watching YouTubers? And when you get emails saying, hey, we want to book you for this, we actually found you because we're fans of your YouTube. And you're like, what are you guys doing watching my YouTube? Like, that makes no
Yep.
sense, but cool. So, you know, I've booked commercial work off YouTube now, which is wild. And it's jobs that have nothing to do with YouTube, but it's just people who are fans of the channel. You know, they see our realness. They see what you see here is what you get in real life. And there's a confidence that they get because they see, oh, this person knows how to operate. This person knows how to manage gear, manage teams. Like it's, you know, this isn't just, hey, we're going to go on YouTube just to like talk about gear. Like this goes far beyond that.
Well, like, because like my job, like, you know, I work with a bunch of athletes and stuff like that. I would say the largest profile athletes I've ever worked with, and the largest companies I've ever worked with, all came from YouTube. Like the
Mm.
one year when I was going back and forth working with Gymshark for about a year, I like asked them because like the team was from the UK. They didn't have an office. They didn't have their books or their office in the United States yet. It's in Denver now. But at the time, I'm like, hey, out of curiosity, like, how did you find me? They're like, honestly, we just searched it up on YouTube and your name kept coming up, so that's where we went. I just worked with Trish Stratus from the WWE like a month ago. That was entirely a photographer that I knew around the industry that I didn't talk to that much. Actually, no, that's a lie. He actually shot my my competition photos after the fact. Came back and he's like, "Hey, I see you killing on YouTube. Like, hey, I have this brand I want to work with, and all of their athletes are either NFL players or celebrities." That all came from YouTube. I have a pretty long standing contract with a couple supplement companies, and that was all YouTube. And what's cool about that is that these brands that are coming to the YouTube channel, and the reason why you start to see a lot of people sharing BTS, because originally in commercial work, you couldn't do that
Yeah.
for any reason. But the reason why you're able to do that now is that these brands understand that, like, hey, if I found that person on YouTube, if they share what we're doing on his YouTube, then that in some way at
Hmm.
no cost to me promotes my brand too. So yeah, go ahead. If you want to test out your new lens at our next ad shoot, go for it.
Yeah.
Right? And then
The,
that
the good
satisfies
marketing
all ends.
people, they
The good
understand,
ones.
you know, the more eyes, the everything. So also, Ashley, I guess there's your answer right there. Preston said, "This point is exactly where my imposter syndrome on YouTube stems from, not gonna lie." Preston, my biggest advice is make the shit you want to see. Make the shit that you wish it's like, oh, I wish there was more content about this, or I wish more people were talking about this. That's the content you should make. Because if you want to see that shit, I guarantee you there's probably thousands of people that want to see that same stuff. So that's my biggest. Again, like people think I'm the anamorphic guy. Tito from Anamorphic on a Budget, he's the anamorphic guy on YouTube. But, I just love anamorphics and I'll talk about them. And now people think I'm the anamorphic guy. So anytime I'm next with Tito in person at NAB, I'm just like, no, this is the anamorphic. Everybody should know who the hell this guy actually knows what he's talking about. I'm just talking about what I like. That's all I'm doing. So, just talk about the shit you're into. Ignore the noise. Ignore the, oh, you're this and you're that. Like, who gives a fuck? At the end of the day, you got to do what makes you happy. And if it's not harming anybody, then fucking go full force at it.
Do you want to talk about what we want to see from some of the new cameras coming out? I feel like people have they've heard us yell and scream about whether or not real filmmakers, whatever. But people came here to hear about the tools.
Make sure you say so. Are you going live on your channel after this?
No, I'm not gonna go after this, man. I have so many things I have to do before we go to the where. So like I'll probably unless if we end this at like before 2 o'clock, maybe. But I still gotta go to the gym at 2:30, so we could riff on a couple.
It's 40. We're 41 minutes in. I say let's end this in 15, so you go live because I still need to pack for today's shoot. I'm filming the commercial for the light today. So that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So we'll wrap this up in 15 minutes, guys. Yeah.
I don't know how to do the. So whenever we get off live, you're going to have to explain to me how to do this because I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to send an interview link.
I'm not exactly how I did it, but I'll send you. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Okay. Okay. So let's riff about a little bit of gear because I feel like we could go all day about talking about who's a real film. Like we could go all day about that stuff, and I feel like that might get boring to the audience because also the audience is here because they rock with us, which leaves the other thing we like talking about. So, I have my hot take, and it's not even a hot take. It's like a lukewarm take, but I think Sony has 12 months to figure it out, or I don't know how many people are going to be in the ecosystem anymore.
Yeah, I think if the L-Mount Alliance gets their shit together and gets way more lens options, I think that's going to be it. Yeah, I think those two things are the perfect storm.
The L-Mount pipeline is, when you think about it, if you compile all the L-Mount cameras together, it is Sony's ecosystem, if you think about it. So, like, for example, all of the things in Lumix are the A7 line. All of the things in Blackmagic are the FX line, especially now that like this Pixis is going to get autofocus in like a couple months with everything more than I would kind of expect from other things. So there's those two things. And then if I'm like, say for example, I want to go on the photo line or I want to like take a little bit of Fuji's lunch, let's get a Leica. Now, mind you, some of those are expensive, like Leica being the more expensive one than the other ones. But the idea that you have a place to go underneath that mount system and underneath that ecosystem, all you need is to put more into it. And I think like once you start getting like compact lenses for some of the smaller cameras, XLR units that actually like are usable where you can put monitors and top handles on it. I think we're going like there are a couple of decisions away from being a contender where instead of we saying Canon versus Nikon, it's going to be honestly Lumix versus Nikon, if you think about it.
I think without saying too much, I think by the end of this year, people are going to be like, oh, we got like if Sony don't throw in some new sensors or something and some new cameras and make some innovations, I think people are going to be like, oh, everybody got everything. So this is going to get interesting. Let's see what Connor thinks. So Kofi, say your hot take again about Sony.
So I think Sony has 12 months to figure it out, or I don't know how much you're going to hear from them. Also, I agree with you. Just getting the ZF also is great. I have one. So I have one somewhere here. Very nice camera. If my GFX
Yeah.
50R ever goes down, I would stick with a ZF. Connor, you said the end of the year.
I think so, because I think people buy camera-y things. That the ZF looks great. I think people buy camera-y things, because we're in a special case because, we review cameras, so we get things more frequently than we should. I feel like people buy things on a 3-year cycle-ish, 2 to 3, probably 3. And so it's been,
Yeah.
a year and a half, 2 years that the Lumix stuff has been pretty good and that Sony's been kind of lacking. So I think end of the year, turn of the next year, people are going to start wanting something different with new specs. The camera that they have might finally not be good enough after so much time, blah, blah, blah. The difference is going to be lenses, though, because Sony lenses are really good. And if people already have a lot of lenses, it's kind of like why people stay with Canon. Like I talked to a buddy of mine who, while Canon was like clearly the worst option for a long time, he still bought Canon stuff because he had EF glass, not even RF glass. And then eventually he got RF glass too.
I can agree with that. I would also say here, perhaps, and this is like, and again, I'm not too sure because I don't know the demographic. People have cameras and people that don't. People's jump on point to cameras are way different now. So like so maybe people that are like with their FX3s is probably going to be someone who's going to either watch the replay or be in the chat now that's going to say like, well, I don't need anything else with my A7S3 or my FX3. Cool. Awesome. But what's going to happen is the person that's buying their first full frame camera is going to look at the landscape and say, well, why would I buy an FX3 when I could get an S5 2X that costs less money? And I don't know what rolling shutter is, let alone I don't care. But it's cheaper, the quality's comparable, and I could buy more lenses. And also by that time, there's more lenses available, right? So I don't necessarily, like, to your point, I actually agree with you, but I don't think it's going to be people upgrading. I think it's going to be just there's a way better jump on point for everybody now than ever. And it's tariffs aside, recession aside, or whatever, it's actually cheaper. Because the last 8K enabled camera that can shoot open gate was like a Red Monstro for $80K a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's $3,000.
Yeah. I mean, with all that said, everybody go check out Armando Falleta's YouTube video from this morning. He's I guess he's ditching the FX3 for this guy right here. We'll be filming with it today. This is the Lumix S1R2. We got the Tilta DJI Focus Pro top grip conversion thing with the new Blazar Mantis directly on it if the Pocket 3 will focus on it. So, there's the playing field is being leveled out, and it's going to be real interesting how the rest of this. I mean, all of our hot takes right now are kind of pointless with the economy and the politics and everything. So I won't drag you guys into
if you're not Canadian,
that conversation. Yeah, if you're not Canadian.
Maybe I'm in Canada, so I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start asking you to bring us gear.
You know what the crazy part is though, and I guess this might be a hotter take. As much as it's scary, and I know it is, I completely agree. Everything that's going on is ridiculous. I don't know how many people it's going to stop from buying cameras when actually foot hits the ground. Because hang on, and hear me out for a second. Because I think like we were talking about this before with gear videos, kind of having a dip. I could never afford a Hasselblad, but I still watched it. I still consumed it, and also like affiliate marketing percentages are so low, it's almost not even relevant how many you buy. It just matters that I make a good video. Because like, how much do we from B&H? 2.5%. I would need 40 people to pre-order the S1R2 to completion to get the value of one camera. Yeah, which is wild. At that point, and to be honest with you, I'm not pulling 40 on a body release day. So to even get that value back, it doesn't make any sense to try to sell you the camera. It just makes sense to make good videos because the leverage points for just making a good video that tracks what the audience is looking for is so much more valuable.
And I think you're right, because everything, even though things are getting more expensive, literally because of inflation and tariff nonsense, things are actually still technically cheaper. I mean, you actually made a really great point with that. Tech is always getting cheaper as it gets better. So, 6K cameras are just They're not expensive anymore. 8K cameras are not expensive anymore. We have amazing cameras like the Pocket 3. I freaking love the Pocket 3. The ZF is a fabulous camera. It's like $2,000. And the cameras we were buying before, I mean, I bought the Canon 70D forever and a half ago for $1,300, and that camera is dog water compared to everything that's out today. And I paid $1,300 for it, which is what the S9 costs. So it's like, it's crazy.
The A7 III, I think, is still $2,000, and it came out in 2018.
Yeah, it's wild. You can
Like,
get
I don't
like a
think it's
used
2000 that
S5 2X probably for what, like 1,200 now used.
That's not, yeah, it's not even talking about the used market. The used market is really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We're really spoiled. Only way to find out what's going to happen is just to wait and see, sadly. So,
Yeah.
in the meantime, guys,
Oh, yeah, that's
save
true.
your pennies, I would say.
Yeah.
Try to book as much work as you can. Don't buy anything right now, I would say. If you have the money to spend and you've been waiting to buy something, now's probably the time to do it. I wouldn't wait the next 2 weeks.
I
But,
would also
with
say
everything
even
going
farther
on,
than that.
something can change overnight.
I'd say even farther than that. Still don't buy anything. Everybody that is listening right now, I want you to listen super carefully. I want you to get a notebook, get a pencil, and I want you to start writing things that you need from your camera. Put little check boxes beside them. Start writing them. And when a camera comes out, you write the title of whatever camera video you're watching, whether it's a new Sony drop, a Lumix drop, or Nikon, whatever it is, right at the top of the page. As you're watching the video, check off boxes of things that you need. If the page isn't full of check marks, don't buy the camera. Because what's going to also happen, and whether you guys like it or not, or whether anybody likes it or not, is like part of our job. What we're blessed to do is we just cover when these things come out. We tell you what they do, and then you do whatever you want with them later on. YouTubers can't accommodate for the needs of hundreds of thousands of people. It's impossible. So I can't tell you how much overheating is going to be needed for you or not needed, or whether or not you're going to encounter it. That's insane to be able to do that for everybody, the general public. The idea is consume enough information until you find the answer to these questions, and then if it doesn't check them, move on, right? Because a camera is what the next most expensive investment you'll make to a car, a house, and an engagement ring. The same level of research and discernment should be exactly the same as buying the other stuff, not just because I like Cam Mackey's anamorphic footage, therefore I'm buying an S1R2, and when it doesn't work out, I'm going to blame him for it. Like, let's not do like.
But if you do use my affiliate link,
yeah, and then buy my LUTs. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, like we have to put, like, with all of this going on, there has to be opportunities where we take a moment to say, like, hey, let's just change how we consume that content so that way we have a better relationship with it. And if embargo videos trigger you, understand that. And then I'm not even telling you, like, I'm not even saying it as like a facetious F off way, but why give your mental health a detriment by watching something you know is going to make you upset?
yeah. I think the reality is there's a lot of lonely people in our community, and I'm not saying that in a mean way, but a lot of people who wish they had friends to talk about shit, whatever it is. And so I think a lot of them come to YouTube, and some of them maybe don't know how to, have a freaking conversation. There's a lot of negativity in life, and if someone's being really negative, it means internally there's probably a lot of negativity with them, and that's just how they express themselves. So I have empathy for the haters who kind of keep to themselves, and maybe they'll call us a shill or whatever in the comments. So if that's you, there's no need to be negative. You can be nice. You can buy my LUTs. You can.
You can be nice. Camera Junkie said it best: book your gigs and save your money. Absolutely, book your gigs, save your money. Also, like, if you're rocking with the stuff you have now, if I'm gonna make a humble suggestion, start making content. Because, like, and I'll tell you this right now, like, for most people like outside of the camera niche, from like the financial analyzation of things, people that are already in the content space right now are probably going to be fine more often than not, to be honest with you. Because what happened during the pandemic, what did everybody do? They went home, they sat down, and they started consuming media en masse. If we get into an active recession and it gets really bad, what are you going to do? Well, if you're not working, you're at home. If you're at home, what are you watching? Probably more of the thing you were already watching, which is new media. which we create and monetize on. And we've already identified that like affiliate link percentages aren't that great, so we just get to worry about making cool videos. So if I'm already good at making cool videos, then I could just pivot to whatever the audience wants to watch now, which honestly, even during recession, is still going to be camera gear videos. So what I'm trying to get at with that is that if you're someone who's freelancing right now, there's nothing wrong with sharing that on social media, because at some later point in time, you probably will be able to supplement some of your income while showing some of that media. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be promoting products. You could have courses, digital products. You could have or buy Cam's LUTs. You could do so many other things, but none of that starts unless you're taking your work and you're putting it on tier. You know what I mean? In the worst case scenario, nothing happens and nothing happens. Best case scenario, you're in the same position both of us were in, what, a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
And doing it full time. So now we're getting paid to practice. Right.
Yeah.
So, and all of the tariff stuff, all of the uncertainty and all the other stuff, I would say, yes, save your money, be very cautious how you spend stuff, but also start getting on some of these platforms and putting your work out there.
Yeah.
I think Cam's getting bored of listening to you. He's changing your camera effects.
Are you shooting on a Canon?
Yeah, yes.
What's
Yeah.
Am I shooting on Canon?
Yeah, are you shooting on a Canon right now? Do you see what you look like?
No, it's a Lumix S9.
Are you filming on C-Log?
What did you do? You did something terrible, didn't you?
Looks like C-Log 3. That's crazy.
I'm just being ADD.
I would recommend, if you're going to make content, don't make it in this niche. Frankly.
Yeah.
The niche is getting smaller. It's getting more crowded. So I'm not saying don't make it because you're crowding me. It's just the truth of it. So there's just
that is what he's saying, but yeah.
But yeah, don't crowd me. Yeah, it's getting more crowded. The niche is getting smaller. Less people are needing cameras to do what they need to do. A lot of people are just fine with a phone, or they bought the Osmo Pocket 3 and it'll last them for the next 6 years. So maybe look outside of this niche. Use your camera techniques to build something else. I think that a lot of us are thinking about how we can continue doing this, because this is actually great. We all love cameras. We all love tech. But maybe there's something else that we can also pivot into, because this niche is getting smaller. It just is.
Anime.
Could be.
All right.
Yep.
I think that's the time to end this live.
Wait, hang on. Someone just asked, what up, guys? I have a brand saying they can't pay me for the video, but they're willing to give me the lenses in a tray for the video because of Paris. Does this align with what you guys are experiencing? I don't know what Paris is.
Oh, this
tariffs.
is Jamie. Tariffs, yeah.
Tariffs.
Jamie, I would say if you need the lenses, sure, and if you can actually utilize them. But if you're planning on just like doing video, then like flipping them and stuff, I know some of us do that. I personally hold on to majority of my gear until it's been like months. I'm like, I'm not touching this, that's for sure. Just because, I'm always doing different things, and it depends how much I'm doing that one thing between the mini docs or fashion shoots or more high-end stuff or just road trips, like whatever it is. And so if gear's not being used, then I'll just get rid of it. But yeah, if you think you need the lenses, sure, do it. But if you think it's just gonna be a waste of time, you don't really care about them, you're gonna make a half-assed video about it, and it's not paid, I wouldn't bother with it personally.
Also, JB, I'd say it's hit or miss. What I would say, and I think he's asking more about like on the brand deal side of things, and that makes total sense. What I would say, Jamie, is the physical product market that are overseas. Sorry, it took me a long time to get there. The physical product market side of things might not be the biggest play to get the budgets that you want, but things like Artlist, Squarespace, audio, all of those probably have a little bit more overhead. So I would almost say if the lenses not only are things you want to use, but if it's a leverage point, I would take what you can and then try to leverage that into something else that'll actually give you the money you're looking for.
But yeah, the end of his question was, does this align with what you guys are experiencing? I think for me, not really. There's definitely some new stuff that I'm trying to get my hands on, but it seems like brands are kind of on hold right now on whether they should move forward on the release or push it, which obviously affects, what they're going to do. But also, I think some of the brands might start holding their marketing budgets for a little bit and, not really pushing stuff unless they know they can move units while teaming up with a specific YouTuber or whoever it is. But I know, Kofi, you have some, I don't know what you can disclose, but I know you might have some more information on that.
That's only 67% true, I would say. I'd say the way the brand partnerships are gonna. So the 33% is like how like brands are still putting marketing budget down. It's just who and how. I would say if you're someone, and like Jamie, I think I saw you see a video recently of yours too. I actually watched Jamie's stuff. I just haven't in a little while because I haven't watched YouTube. But anyways, if you are someone who is doing stuff in the field, like some people are, like a lot of filmmakers are now, I'd say you're in a better position in terms of getting some of that marketing budget if you're good at strategizing how to navigate those conversations.
Brands are getting more intentional with who they work with.
Yes.
Where I feel like before they would kind of, if you had like numbers, if the optics look good, you could just get budgets and stuff. When Kofi and I started, that wasn't happening because we may be pulling more numbers than some of the top guys on certain videos, but we're not getting the same type of budgets that they were. I feel like that's starting to balance out a little bit more. So if you prove yourself and you actually put effort into the content and actually make great stuff, and it's not just an opinion, it's more of a showcase of what the gear can actually do. I feel like brands are starting to bite a little bit more for that. So a lot of times, if I approach a brand, I approach them with a full fucking pitch, as if it's a commercial job that I'm trying to land, as if it's a bid that I'm trying to land. I tell them what my take is or what my take would be on the piece of gear, what I would shoot with it, how I would shoot with it, the lessons that the audience could possibly learn from it, like all of that. I do in-depth emails. And when a brand sees like, okay, this guy has a strong, vivid idea. And again, this is because I actually like the gear that I talk about. I just don't take gear just to talk about it. Everything that I showcase on my channel, like the rest of us, it's shit that we like because we have very limited time to produce these videos. And so when I do that and I treat it that way, I even send treatments out to some of these brands. Which I regret sometimes because then they kind of come back expecting more treatments. So I kind of shoot myself in the foot by doing that. But putting that type of dedication, Jamie, we know, I think you do commercial work and everything too, I believe, or some sort of bookings and stuff. If you treat YouTube that way, brands will respect it. And, the bar is being raised because there's more traditional filmmakers coming onto the space who do have a lot of experience. And not all of them know how to translate that into YouTube, but the ones who do, they're going to be taking over for sure, which I'm all here for. So
I'll disclose some insider stuff in terms of brands that have been very vocal about that. And no surprise, Black Magic. I think it was we were at AB and Connor, I don't know if you were there, but I was with Ori and he went to go talk to the marketing team at Black Magic. And literally the marketing rep is like, "Hey man, like I'm sick of one-offs." He's like, I want long-term deals. I want to work with creators over a long term. I want to work on multiple projects. I want to be ingrained into the people's personal brands instead of these one-off dedicated pseudo spec. Which we want to be part of these.
I'm all for it because it just means less things to negotiate, and then if we have a real consistent budget, we can do more interesting things and not have to do it so on the cuff, which I don't personally like. I would also say, though, that these brands are getting it's all risk factor. It's kind of like Hollywood. The reason why we see so many remakes and we see, blockbusters, and then there's not many cool things. Like the Sinners movie was really cool that we watched, and it was less blockbuster. It was more nuanced, which is rare. And the reason why it's rare is just that Hollywood wants to mitigate risk, and so do these companies. So I think that's why, to what Cam was saying, they're more picky about who they're working with.
Well, think about it this way. We just did a film, and who was one of our main sponsors for it?
Black Magic.
Did they ask us to do a dedicated video on anything? No, they said, yeah, well, no, but what I'm saying is the example of brands kind of going to saying, hey, we want to support projects and we want it long term, and we don't necessarily want just, here's the Pixis, buy it now, is exactly what the videos that we have coming out this week, right? Other brands are starting to get a hold of that. And before, it was a lot of brands that had US offices because that's an easier language to speak, figuratively speaking. There are other brands that are overseas that are doing the same thing. Just the pool of people they pick from is smaller. So it's going to be a smaller contingency of people that might get some of these marketing budgets. But also that same smallness is also people working on some of these projects.
Mm-hmm. Exciting times. I think the tariff stuff's
Yeah,
going to end soon.
I hope. Shit.
Yeah,
That's my theory. It's unsustainable. So I think that's probably why companies are pushing budgets just a little bit and like releases, because they're like, it's gonna, one way or another, whoever wins it's gonna settle out soon.
Guys, look what I have.
From
That's
my
more exciting than
economics,
tariffs. That's good.
I do want to see that beetle whenever I see any of you potentially, whenever that is.
Oh. Well, just remember, it is email.
I'm just excited to meet this Austin guy. He seems cool.
Shoot. Yeah, he does sound like a cool guy.
Yeah, this Austin guy seems.
What was
nice.
I gonna say?
There you go.
Oh. You're saying too much.
There was. Can you guys dispose the highest you've ever received for a video? I'm curious where I sit, what I do, and what I potentially could charge.
I cannot.
Cam, do you want to go first?
No.
Oh, actually, my highest one I'm not allowed to. But I will say that I've been very close to 5 digits before I hit 50,000 subscribers. More than once.
It's in contracts we're not allowed to talk about a lot of this stuff, but privately, sure, maybe. But it's the big ones are very, I feel like, random and like they don't make sense really. So, but I'm trying to position myself because we all kind of know each other's numbers, and there are guys who, sometimes Kofi and I will go way overboard on producing some of these videos with teams and producing full on like basic commercial projects for a damn YouTube video. And I promise you guys, we are not making money like we should be doing videos like that,
bro.
So it sucks, but we love it.
I don't have.
Yeah,
the amount of money I don't have right now is so bad.
Yeah,
like this is actually
it's
like proportionate to my income. This is the lowest amount of money I think I've ever had on my person ever.
Crazy. I haven't checked my bank account in a while. I don't want to.
I just don't look at it. I just look at them like, hey, is everything not maxed out? Cool. I'm fine. I'll be fine. I'll just wait a couple days for those net 30s to come in. I'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I still have commercial jobs that I need to make invoices for from like 3 months ago. So yeah, I need to get on that.
There's invoices for crew members I have to pay right now.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I'm on that too.
Let me just go on this QuickBooks after this live stream.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, that's
there's still
hang on. Why can't you talk about it without naming the brands? Because sometimes brands will listen, and then sometimes if they think the number is them, they will get anxious about it, and even just mentioning the number may cause anxiety to brands, to be honest with you.
Okay, guys, we promise you there's people that watch that you would never assume are watching. So I just rather not.
Oh yeah.
Open that can of worms. But yeah, I'm very grateful for, it's crazy because Kobe and I started, our brains decided to go ham on YouTube around the same time. So our growth has been pretty steady, but I had 30 or 40K subs at the time where Kobe, I think you had like 5 or 10,000 or something like that. So
2.
Oh, did you? Oh, crazy. So your ratio might even be higher than mine, but Kobe and I both have very similar drive when it comes to the type of content we want to produce that's different than what was, what's kind of casual here in our space. So the growth that has come with that, there's been like this steady parallels between Kofi and I. And I think we compared numbers last year. We compared last year, and I'm pretty sure our subscriber growth in AdSense I think it's like almost every single metric was almost exactly the same. Your AdSense, I think, was way higher than mine, though. I'm really bad with affiliate links and all that.
I was way better. So I'll tell you guys, and again, this is just kind of like stuff if you guys do decide to make content. Your affiliate marketing goes way high up when you make follow-up videos of the same thing. So when I stopped making FX30 videos, affiliate money went all the way down. When I was just FX30, FX6, I was paying my rent and my bills on Amazon affiliate checks.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It was actually wild. I'd get... Because I had no brand deals. So I was like, I had no sponsorships or anything. So I was like, well, how do I make it sustainable? And then a check would come in for $2,500 US. And I'm like, oh.
Crazy.
Yeah, okay, I'll keep making FX30 content. I have more things to say.
Yep. Most of when we both went full time, most of those bigger videos I did were out of pocket. Like I was losing money on all the shoots, and I was paying with
Yep.
them, or I was paying for them through my commercial work. I was like, I want to be on YouTube. This is what I want to do. So let me just throw everything at the wall for it.
Yeah.
And to this day, that's still kind of what happened, sadly. So I don't.
I look at my when I do a video after, like, I'll have Zach edit a couple videos, I'll edit a few videos. When I pay for like location, where I have crew, or I pay my BTS guy to make sure like something to make sure like it looks good, I'll look at it and I'm like, yeah, Artlist might have paid me like a couple $1,000, and I'm like, yeah, I got $100 after this. I have $100 left after all of that. You very much operate in the yellow, but to be fair though, we're probably going to be in the yellow until a certain point in time where you're in the green, and then you're really in the green. And I think that compassing point is probably this year, everything else notwithstanding.
Yeah, I mean,
Jamie, finance is the highest niche.
Finance, and I think vehicle stuff, or is it tech stuff?
Yep. Tech, smaller CPM, but your brand deals on tech, like consumer tech, is astronomical. Like, Cam, for example, I'll give you this. If you know what was it, the Rabbit AI thing that Marquez Brownlee talked about?
Mm-hmm.
If you did one of your videos in that style and they sponsored you for it, it would be your highest paid brand deal by at least fourfold. At least. Like, I'll put it in perspective. Like, have you ever watched Shavar Salman before? Toronto guy, really nice dude, Jamaican dude. Still has a Jamaican accent. So. Baby dreads. He had done a vlog like 2 years ago. And he's on TikTok, he's on Instagram and YouTube, whatever. Giant following. He's like a younger Marquez Brownlee. Just if you coded him in Caribbean Toronto man, but he did a vlog once where he showed you one of the brand deal emails. He had two of them. One was $68,000 US. The other one was 32. That was two videos.
Jeez.
And he's like, yeah, I just want to be transparent with you guys. Like, I want to show you what like some of the things of these brand deals. And I distinctly remember it being like over 60 grand for one of them. And I'm like, what am I doing in this camera space? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Why don't let me go get my Apple Watch, get my Blazar lenses in this Apple Watch, and go to work.
Yeah.
What am I doing here? Right.
Dang.
Man.
We chose the wrong niche. We could have used our skill set somewhere else.
Well, look at it this way. Like, look at like and I'm not even trying to be offensive, but look at like how not heavily coded in filmmaking these tech videos are. Like, Marquez mostly is into the tech space, and he's in his office or he's in his studio, still shoots on red, still makes really high quality videos. But like the definition of what a high quality video is, and the amount of money you can get back from that is so much more than filmmaking, because you're advertising. Truthfully, you're advertising to broke people. How many filmmakers don't have money?
Yeah,
but we're actively telling them, hey, check out this $10,000 lens set.
Yeah.
But if I make just as good of a video on, I don't know, the Apple Watch, you know what I mean? Like your affiliates and your unit sales, especially when you add your filmmaking style to it.
Yeah. Well, you guys are hearing it first. We're
game,
switching
right?
to tech.
I thought about it. Oh, 100%. I thought about it. Like, I won't even lie to you. I thought about tech, anime, and movies for such a long time. And I'm like, those CPMs are probably going to be the same. Viewership is probably going to be way higher because the things I'm talking about are accessible. Your brand deals are less, though. Like, your brand deals, if you're talking about like entertainment stuff, is a little bit less. But in like tech, consumer tech, yeah, you're fine.
Wait, Jamie's got a quick question here. If you guys weren't in the niche / space, you're on YouTube right now, what would you want to be doing instead? I'd probably be doing like adventure type stuff, like motorcycles, off-road, road trips, Broncos, like just lifestyle stuff, I guess. Sorry.
I would say I probably would have a fitness channel. I did before for like the last 2 weeks of my show, and then I decided that sucked and I didn't want to do it. And also I didn't like I didn't want to take steroids. So, yeah, I didn't want to be a fitness influencer.
Yeah. I'm surprised you and Terry should be making some fitness camera. So many of us creatives are so out of shape. I have a feeling it would do well. I don't know. In the chat, you guys let us know. Do you think there's something there?
I would think so, but what I will tell you right now is that any sort of content that requires the audience to actually have to go out and do something usually gets watched less because most people, and it makes sense because the mentality of people going to YouTube isn't necessarily to go there and then leave and have to do more stuff. It's to go there and escape the thing they're already doing. So if I go to watch this camera channel, I'm like, hey, Kofi's gonna show me this lighting setup or talk about this new piece of gear, and I have to leave and be like, I have to do squats now. Probably not gonna watch it.
Yeah. True. I don't know. My mic's
Jamie,
about to die.
You know. Okay. I don't think I'll go
My
live.
Mac's
I think
about
I'm
to
gonna
die,
go
so.
to the gym.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the gym. Actually, no, I'll go on live for an hour. Probably. I'll go up in an hour.
Yeah. I'm gonna start packing. If you want to join your live, just let me know. They'll have to watch me pack.
I got to figure out how to send I don't know how to send it. So when we get off stream, show me how to do this, and then I'll send you the link.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So hop over to Kofi's channel. Kofi, can you put your link in the chat? Is that possible?
I can't even type in the chat. I'm on this interview thing.
All right, guys. Just go over. You guys know who Kofi is. Just go over his channel. We'll go over there. What are we talking about over on your channel?
We're still gonna be talking about some gear stuff. We only touched on it very lightly.
Yeah.
I want to talk about gear hot takes.
Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna get myself into some trouble. Also, guys,
So
we
am I.
do
We know
have
the same shit.
We have somewhere we need to be very soon, and we'll try not to disclose too much of it. But
we don't have anywhere to be, Cam.
Maybe I'll get Kofi to slip up over on his channel. So go over to his channel right now. We're gonna go live over there.
Uncle Kofi does not slip up. I don't freeze. Don't freeze.
We'll see. All right, y'all. See you on Kofi's. Peace.